Phone. Your mind goes to what that thing does. Phone. It's for calls. Food. You know you want to eat something. Husband. You know it's the horse that beats band. Huh? You get what I'm saying? So the names of things tells you more about the thing. And that's the way God is. That's the way everything is. He says Satan means the adversary. That's the meaning of it. Every name connotes a nature, a character. So on Thursday we talked about God. We talked about his name where he says, I'm a rewarder. He says, I'm a rewarder. And we looked at it and we were inspired. We were blessed to know that, God is a rewarder. That means there is nothing that I'm doing in the name of the Lord I ever did for God that God will not pay me back. When you understand the names of God and the nature of God, it makes it easier for you to serve God and to walk with God. It will cease to be a boring stuff or something you don't even know. I don't even know what we are doing. No, that kind of talk will leave you because now you have an understanding whom you are dealing with. You watch that movie where they say Odogu, so you know what that means. When they say Odogu, he knows, you know from the movie by the name that this guy can deliver when they say Odogu. So we know that God is a rewarder. Then you don't feel what's the right word to say now? You don't get worried doing anything for God. You don't get worried because you know that God is a rewarder. I was speaking with someone just a few days ago and I tried to explain to the person the same thing. There are things you have done and maybe the people you did it to or you have the people may not appreciate it. But see, Jesus said when you do these things, do it as unto God because God is a rewarder. Men may lack the ability to reward, but God does not. Because God is inexhaustible. And what you call lack, scarcity, is not with God. Everything is with God. There is no amount of thing you would do for God that God can reward you for. Nothing. So we are blessed by that. Today we want to look at the aspect of his name that says he's a God who remembers. Remembrance is another powerful nature of God. Remembrance is another powerful attribute of God. Very powerful. The other day, it was a night and I told, I don't know what happened. Somebody was supposed to give, he said he wanted a chocolate sweet. Okay, so I went somewhere and they gave me something and I came back and there was a chocolate sweet inside. So I gave him two. And while he was busy pressing his phone, he took one. While he was busy pressing his phone, his elder brother took the other one and ate it. And when he realized that the one in his mouth is finished, so he wanted to pick the other one and he didn't see it anymore. And he started crying. And the boy said, but I asked you, can I take? And you said he didn't know when he said it, so he was busy. So I told him, don't worry. Once I go out, I'm going to buy you chocolate if I'm coming back. So he stopped crying. But don't you think he forgot? It's 5 years, he didn't forget. For that boy does not forget anything. So when I came this way, finished everything. I think we had rehearsal. I had a very, very, very hectic day that day. By the time I was driving up, I barely drove home. My mind was just to go home and eat and rest. So I passed where the supermarket where I could have gotten that. So when I got back, immediately I stepped in. The first thing he asked me is, where is my chocolate, Daddy? And then it dawned on me that I forgot. So you see, it's a part of God to know that God remembers. Human beings can forget. God remembers. Are you happy about that? Answer me, are you happy about that? most of the times I forget. I don't used to remember all those marriage and anniversary dates. I don't used to remember it. I don't used to remember birthdays. Most times I forget my wife's birthday. But you know, women don't forget things like that. My wife can remind me the face that I talked to her and what was the date and the time and the hour. She can remember. I cannot remember. Women are they are good with details. My wife know the number. Everybody close to us, know their car number. I don't. In fact, even my car number, I don't know my car number. Even my account number, I don't know my account number. She said, I don't know. I know it's in my phone somewhere. I don't know it. It took me time to know my phone number. I just feel, but you know, some women can just call 20 people without checking phone book. They just know the number. Anthony, Priscilla, Shadrach. They don't go to that time. They go to make they go to phone book to make call. They don't go there with. They just go. I want to make call. You see numbers will be. How they do it, I don't know. But there are things I don't forget. I can never forget a sound. I cannot hear a sound and forget it. I can't forget Bible. I don't forget faces. If I don't ever meet you like this, I remember your face. And of course, I won't forget if you promise me money. Hallelujah. So remember we said on Thursday that God reveals his name, his character. He reveals his character, his nature, his personality and abilities through his name. For instance, I've talked about it. He introduces himself as a rewarder. This lets you know that he rewards men. Today we are looking into his ability to remember. Somebody say ability to remember. He declared in many places in the Bible that he is a God that remembers covenants, deals. God can't make a deal with you and forget. He remembers promises. God don't make promises and forget. He even made it clear that he remembers his people. Are you a people for God? Are you a people of God? He remembers his people. He remembers his servants. So it's very easy. You don't want God to forget you. Be a servant of God. You don't want God to forget you. Be a person of God. God does not remember because he forgets. Write it. God does not remember because he forgets. So you see, when I say that remember, so you might be thinking it's because he forgets. No, God does not remember because he forgets. It's actually the other way around. He is called the God of remembrance because he does not forget. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So you might be thinking, okay, say that God remembers. Say, thank God, God remembers. Maybe if I don't forget. No, it's not that way. It's the other way around. God does not forget. God does not ever forget. He does not. He does not. I want us to agree on that. God does not forget. Ever, he will not forget. Do you agree with me on that? Did that sink in right now? God does not forget. This is why it's a big deal when the Bible says, blessed is the man whom God does not remember his sin. Where did I read that scripture? He said, blessed is the man that God does not remember his sin, that God does not impute his sin on him. Blessed is the man. Why is the man blessed? Why is it a big deal? Because God does not forget. How come God is forgetting a man's sin? How come God has forgotten a man's shortcoming? You see, it's a big deal when someone who does not forget says, I forget your sin. It's a big deal. It's something to shout about. It's something you need to be excited about. So what does that simply mean? It simply means that when God forgets, it's a deliberate choice. When God says, I forget, he deliberately chooses not to remember. As in, he cancels it out. Yeah. Not because he forget, not because he have a memory loss. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. But because he has made a choice. That's why the Bible says, blessed is the man. And if God decides to do that for you, you are blessed. You are a man to be envied amongst men. Because he does not forget. There's some things God, like when the Bible says he does not sleep, he does not slumber. So I'm excited. So when the Bible says God remembered, you know, you're reading the Bible and the Bible says, and God remembered Sarah. That was not because God forgot Sarah. And God remembered Abraham. That's not because God forgot Abraham. And God remembered Joseph. That's not because God forgot Joseph. Because God never forgets. So what is this thing, this word that the Bible uses when it says, and God remembers a man? When also God asks us, say, those of you that remind me things in Zion, don't keep quiet. What does it mean when God says remind me? When he cannot forget and he say remind me. When a man say remind me, he's actually trying to let you know that I can possibly forget and not remember. So please keep me remembrance. But when someone who does not forget says remind me, what does that mean? When he say reminds me of my promises, remind me of my covenants. It is not because he's forgetful. Think about it. How can the one who made the brain forget? Huh? Just think about it. The one who made the brain, how can he forget? When our sister Ada had that attack, and he had partial stroke, and we went to see and I was being observant by the Spirit, just observe. I always like to look at things, meditate, and let the Spirit of God speak to me. It will help you a lot. It will help you a lot. When the Spirit of God talks to you, it will help you a lot. It will save you a lot of headache. So I was just looking at her and looking at that doctor going through the therapy, and I just realized that the doctor was trying to teach you what you used to know, like how to move your hand, how to move your leg. Then the Spirit of God gave me a light to what stroke is all about. So when stroke hits a man, it's like when a hard disk crashes. Stroke is like when you wipe a system. That's what it is. Something happens to your brain that make you lose data. These are data you have acquired over the years. How to move. So that part of your brain becomes blank. They are now teaching you. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When I caught that light, so when I began to pray for her as the doctor left, if you remember, I began to say, remember now. Remember. Let there be a recovery of what used to be there. A backup. Are you catching what I'm saying? Are you catching what I'm saying? They just remember. Because they were trying to tell her, move your hand like this. This is something you already know over years. The same way you learned it as a child. When they gave birth to a child, the child learned it. These are data acquired over time. So the brain begins to function. So I'm asking you, do you think that useless object can forget? Do you think he can forget? There must be another reason why God said, I remember. There must be another reason why God said, remind me. He is trying to call your attention to his nature. Why is he doing that? He wants you to take advantage of that. He wants you to deal with him on the basis of the fact that he never forgets. That he remembers. When he demands that we remind him of anything, it is because it gives him glory. It gives him glory when we remind him of things. It shows our dependence on him. That's why he wants you to remind him. Huh? Huh? As a parent, I feel a sense of responsibility when my children ask for anything. I feel a sense of responsibility when I do things for them. It gives me fulfillment. If I do something for my wife, it gives me fulfillment. If they come to me with a problem and I'm able to do that, it gives me fulfillment. You get what I'm saying? Something happened so many years ago when we were going through real stuff. One day, I was going with my daughter. That's when I had only one child that time, my daughter. And I wanted to go somewhere. We had no money at all. So there's this brother I was expecting to send me money. Oh, may God not put you in a place where you're expecting people to send you money and you don't have. I call, flash. He called, he said, I'll just get back to you right now. Just hold on, I'm doing it, I'm trying. From morning till night. And then we were passing somewhere and my daughter said to me, very small, that say, I want ice cream. And I didn't have 20 naira to buy ice cream. So I told myself, you are not a daddy. You are just useless. You're not just useful. Ice cream. It's not those better ice cream, all those ones that they used to put saccharin and color, like you say 10 naira, 20 naira. No fee buyer. It's a different thing that you have the money, but say, no, why are you laughing, Paula? See why your money, what you do for me in this life is plenty. Telling you now. So worried. Ice cream. And children are not used to take permission before they will ask you for anything. My wife went somewhere one day, and I think it was Sean. Was it Sean that needed a bicycle? It was Sean who bought a bicycle by force bicycle that you didn't plan for. Is he set? Was he set? He went to that place to something else, and the baby started crying over bicycle. That person no plan for. I had to find a way to find money. She called me. We have to find a way. I think they bought that. Was it 40,000 that time? I have to find a way to buy it. When God says reminds me, it shows that you depend on him. Not because he does not know your need. Not because he does not know. He knows. He never forgets. Are you getting what I'm saying? It shows your honor to God. When he say remind me, he wants you to honor. It's like an honor to him when you say. Let me give you an example. When you have a lady in your life and you tell the lady to give you food to eat, is it because you can't go to the pot and collect the food? I'm asking you guys, is it because you can't go to the pot and collect the food? But you know, if you go to the pot and collect the food without telling her, she will be angry. Why is she angry? Ladies, why are you angry? Because it's your responsibility. You feel, there's something you feel. You feel a very integral part feel a sense of responsibility. You feel a sense of taking care of your man. You feel like you're doing something. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. When you do that, you feel accomplished. You feel you feel you're fulfilling your job as a helpmate. How can I be here? You go and collect food. Just imagine somebody put in the house. They cook their food. They collect their food. They dry clean their clothes. They don't need you for anything. You will get frustrated. You will feel you are not a part of that home. You feel you are not a part of that relationship. It's a big deal. That's why sometimes some men vex. They know telling me you give you their food. They can't go collect the food because they want to make it pepper. Although some women don't send though. When you remind God, is a sign of reliance on Him. Wait, why do you have to open a door, the door of the car for your wife? Her hand break, the leg break. Why do women take delight if you do it? They go, huh? Why? No, they can't do it. I heard the story of a woman of God who is so rich, Juanita Bynum, and the husband, she's richer than the husband. But she said, I still like it when my husband pays for my nails to be done. I like it. Let him pay for it. She's richer than the husband. She said, I like it. Still like it. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Because it gives me a sense of responsibility that somebody cares for me and somebody takes care of me. Not that I can't do it. Distance, oh yeah. I'll call you. So serving God is not just serving God is not just coming to church to dance. Okay, we have danced today. Serving God is not just singing in the choir or sweeping the church. Let me ask you, of what benefit is it to God if you sweep the church? Huh? So I'm serving God, I'm sweeping the church. Of what benefit? Now I'm asking you, of what benefit is it to God if you sweep the church? It's to our benefit. Now we won't stay for clean place. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's not any. If we say we don't want, God answer people who are in the bush. Are you not aware? People waiting for bush, God they answer them. So it's not whether this place is clean that God will answer us. So you make mistake to think that because you came and you swept this place, that means you have served God. No, we just served ourselves. Sing in the choir. You think that means God have angels. They sing better than you are. They will not go off key. Angels don't go off key. They don't jump key. We were somewhere yesterday, and somebody that I know that we both were judges in one music talent, whatever. We were judging people. Why you go off key? It was in an event yesterday, and she was blowing off key, blowing. I was saying, what is this? Serving God is having dealings with God. Write it down. Serving God is having dealings. Having dealings with God. Covenants with God. Remember I said from the beginning, He remembers, He never forgets dealings. He never forgets covenants. He never forgets promises made. Serving God is having dealings with God. Check the Bible. When they say somebody served God, check. They had dealings with God. Covenants with God. It's not sweeping the church. It's not dancing in church. It's not being in the choir. It's not being in the media. Because some of us, we have gotten so big self that we even feel, we do with some level of attitude. You're like you're doing God some favor to be a worker or do something in church. That's not serving God. They didn't call him the God of Abraham because Abraham was sweet. No, they called him the God of Abraham because of the dealings he had with Abraham. There were deals, there were covenants sealed with blood. He said, because of this, I will not forget even your children to how many generations. Are you catching what I'm saying? You cannot be mighty in the land if you don't have dealings with God. Write it. You cannot be mighty in the land if you don't have dealings with God. You cannot be a force to reckon with if you don't have dealings with God. If you don't have dealings with God. Abraham went to many places, and the Bible say, and the people, even his children, say, leave. Went to many places, and the Bible say, and the people, even his children, say, leave. You are bigger than us. Not because Abraham was some special guy, but because of the deals that Abraham had with God. Covenants. Covenant that made God make promises. God made promises. You see, when God was speaking to Pharaoh, destroying Egypt, he saw the way God was talking to them. God said, you took my son, Israel. What? I said, because of that, I'm going to kill your son too. Now, when God was saying this, several hundreds of years has passed. In fact, it's up to 1,000 years, because the Bible says that the children of Israel spent like 400 years in captivity. More than that. But here God was speaking to Moses to go and deliver them. And he was speaking to Moses, remembering Abraham. He said, for I have heard the cry of the people. Because these are the descendants of Abraham. And who is Abraham? Abraham is the guy I had dealings with so many years ago. I had covenants with him. I don't forget covenants. So I've remembered, not because he forgot. What it means is that now I'm ready to do something about it. So when God said, I remember, it's not because he forgot. It's because now he's saying, I'm ready to do something about it. This morning, God will remember somebody. Amen. Not because he didn't forget. But now he's ready to carry your matter and do something about it. And when God gets ready for a man, everything will align. Everything will align to do his bidding. I say, all things are aligning for your sake now. Let your amen be louder. Why will he start telling me to write down this message? He said, let them know I'm a God I remember. And I'm remembering. If you don't start getting into deals with God, if you don't start getting into deals with God, your encounters with God will not be rich. Write it down. If you don't start getting into deals, covenants, you understand your dealing and your walk with God as covenants, your experience with God, your encounter with God will not be rich, because there are some things you will never experience. You get what I'm saying? I like to read relationships a lot to give examples so that you know. There are some things about this sister here I would never know, except I am in a kind of relationship with her. Women are very good at that. They show you what they want. They show you what they want you to see based on what page they are with you. There are things you will never know about my wife that I know. You will never. You will never. If you know, me and you will get problem. Because I'll try to find out, how do you know that? because she's a reverend. She's a reverend. And she's anointed. But when she's with me, she's not a reverend. You getting what I'm saying? That reverend thing is for you people. And women are blessed with this ability that they can relate to. They know how to relate to different people at the same time based on what you mean to them. A woman can relate to a child as a mother, relate to a mother-in-law as a mother-in-law, relate to a brother-in-law as a brother-in-law, relate to a husband. I mean, she knows how to do this. Yes. It's there in her. A few days ago, one morning like that, my wife was dancing. I said, woman of God, do you twerk for the man of God? Now you can never see that dance. You can never see that dance. That dance is only for the man of God. I'll say that to teach you something. You get what I'm saying? Some things you will never know. There are some ladies, they are very playful. They are very funny. You will never see that funny part. Except you are very close. You will never see the mischievous part of them. They always wear package, always correct, always sad, always that. You don't know that other side. You don't know it. Because you are not dealing with them on that level to make them to be free to show that other side of them. The same way it is with God. There are some things you will never know about God. Your walk with God will not be full of testimonies and encounter until you know how to begin to deal with God. Deal. God like, spirits like deals, covenants, deals. Let your sweeping the church be on the basis of deal. Let your singing be on the basis of covenants. Because you know, when you talk covenant, you talk responsibility, you talk commitment. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. Your Christianity will be so shallow without testimonies until you begin to walk with God on the basis of deals and covenants. You sing it every day. How come you have not thought about it? Covenant keeping God. There is no one like you. That tells his nature. God is a covenant keeper. A deal maker. God is a deal maker. That's what some people don't understand about altars. Altar is not where you come to cry. Altar is not where you come to cry. Altar is a place where you come to make deals. It's a place of exchange. You bring that which is not of, you bring your problem, you bring your inadequacy, you bring whatever it is, and you come to the place of the altar to drop what you came with and take that which you're looking for. This is not a stage. There's a difference between a stage and an altar. A stage is where the video performs. And they can kill you there. I've seen people jump on stage to hug celebrity. They push you, you die. Anything can happen there. You know that boy called Ruga? Eh? Answer me, you know him. Keep quiet. And you know what he does on stage. One time, many years ago, I was called to an event. It was a music event. I was called to an event, and this guy was also invited. Who is it called? Terry G. That time that Terry G was reigning. When everywhere scattered. Everywhere scattered. Have you not seen that one? The one that used to remove trousers and wear only boxers and climb when he's singing. That's the stage. So many years I went for an event, and it was supposed to be a church event, and they invited Timaya. I think it was Timaya. because he had a song that time called Ogologo Mara Jehovah. So they assumed that was, they wanted to use him to bring more crowd. It was supposed to be a gospel meeting. So they felt he would come and he would be restricted to that. So, but when the crowd came, the crowd took over the concert because they started making demands. It was a ticket, it was a show that they paid ticket. And when people pay ticket, you do what they want. So after the guy did Ogologoma, then he now brought out the babies that he came with. And they started doing the other songs. The people that organized, the brothers that organized the songs, they were crying inside inside the place. They say, our pastor will kill us. Even me, that was the major gospel art, it can't be like, say, waiting I can't find for here. The people didn't want to hear us. They just want all those gears there. That's the stage. The altar is a place of serious business. You see that many Christians have not realized that. And that's why when they come here, they don't know what to do with it. God is a deal maker. Write it. God. Spirits are not your bodies. See, that's what they call it, body. You are my body. Spirits are not your bodies. Whether it's God or it's devils, they are your friends to the level, to the extent of the covenant you make with them and how you keep it. That's why a spirit that is doing somebody good can turn and make the person mad at the same time. They are not your friends. Spirits are not your friends. They are not your friends. They are only your friends to the extent to which you keep the deals you make with them. They are not as emotional as you are as a human being. They keep to deals. And listen, when a spirit gets into an agreement with you, that agreement does not end only with you. You're making that agreement with him thinking is me. He's making the agreement with you thinking 4 generations down the line. Every agreement you have with any spirit will last for 120 years. A generation is 30 years. So when you walk up to the devil and say, or any spirit and say, if you give me money, I will be killing 4 goats for you every month. He will say, I hear. But as you're saying it, is thinking 4 generations down the line. Are you catching what I'm saying? So if you turn this to a positive side, everything you come to this altar and you do, is God will remember it to a 4th generation. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying. So when you die, that agreement does not die with you. The spirit will come back at that same time to look for his 4 goats. And if nobody is giving him that 4 goats, he's taking the goats anyhow he sees fit. I'll give an example with something that happened in my place. My great-grandfather, the one whose name is our surname, he was an only child. I've said that story before. And we came from a royal. He was supposed to be the king of my place. But some other people wanted it and they were looking for how to take him out. So he went to do something. They say he went to get something. He says it's a kind of a charm from somewhere. And we understood that it's like they use a young lady, a virgin or something, to do the thing. But he went somewhere and he got it. And what he got, the thing he got, what they said, what the thing does is that I will not look for anybody's trouble. But anybody that looks for my trouble or looks to kill me, may they die in my place. So every morning, he brings out that thing. He breaks cola. He washes his hand. He said to lift up to the Holy Sabbath. If I ever offended anybody, if I never took anybody's land, if I ever took anybody's wife, whatever I'm looking for. But if I didn't do anybody. So when he does that, every time he does it, he will kill a goat. And then they will cook with the goat. And all his children, everybody will eat it. Like some of you, you're always going home to eat one thing. There's one time Sister Christabel, there's one thing they usually do in their place. They go and dance. She will go and be dancing. On that call, I say, this thing where they go, they dance. He said, don't be dancing it. So, go and eat. Everyone who eats that thing is under the covering of that thing. So, something happened. When the man died, his first son continued it. He will kill that thing. They will eat. There are some people here, every time, at a particular time of the year, they will call you, come back to the village, come in, something we use, we must come back. You don't. These are ordinances. You are not aware. It's deals that have been made years that are being kept. So, by this time, all these churches, Anglican, everything is coming. So, some people now say they are not eating. They now enter church. So, every time the man now cook the food, people will not go. People keep their children, don't go. The man said, well, the man was very old. He ties wrapper, white wrapper with his wire. He said, listen, I'm about to leave. When I leave, when I go, no. We'll call him father. That's what we used to call him, father. I knew him with a small, and I was a small child. So when this guy died, nobody was giving that in that goat anymore. The thing started taking people. That time, he will collect any goat, human goat. Now, his taste for normal goat, can't want him again. He was now taking human people. I said, my grandfather ran from where they were living, ran to go to another place. That don't mean anything. Anywhere you go, you can't outrun altars. It's a spiritual technology. I can even hear and call London. That's the way altars are. Anywhere you are, if they call you by an altar, you go answer. So altars is a technology that when you engage with it, is for exchange, is for covenants, is for deals. God deals with human beings on the basis of deals and covenants. Because he's a spirit. And spirits makes deal with human beings. Spirits are not your bodies. They are serious-minded beings. Don't play around with spirits. Don't play around with spirits. Spirits are not your bodies. They are serious-minded beings. Have you not seen it on Nollywood where suddenly a native doctor will die inside his shrine? Because the spirit can't understand the man, he will kill you. I'll give you an example. The sons of Eliezer, I think so, went to make sacrifice to the Lord. And the Bible says, and God killed them. They died inside that place because they offered strange sacrifices. Spirits, where they follow, they can't go, they do anyhow. The spirit will kill them. If you read the Old Testament, I will tell you about the outfit of the high priest who goes into the Holy of Holies to make sin sacrifices for the people. In those days, before the arrival of Jesus, the Holy of Holies is where they kept the Ark of Covenant. And in that Ark of Covenant is where you have the 7 books of, the tablets, where God wrote the 10 commandments, some sample of the manna, and stones picked from River Jordan when they were crossing River Jordan. Some sacred things, and they are inside that place. And God said they kept it there for a memorial. So it's not every priest that enters there. And it's not every time the high priest who is qualified to enter there enters there. He enters there once a year. He enters there once a year. So when you come to the church wasn't this open that you will be seeing everything. The church had a very big banner covering, veil, that covers this inner side where these things are. So you don't see it. In fact, if you see it, you die. If you are not qualified. Only the high priest goes there once a year. And before he enters there, he will make a sacrifice to cover his own sin. Because if God sees any sin in him and he enters there, he will die. And God instructed that they should make his gown in such a way that the hems, the down, they put bells, small bells there. So when he goes into that place, because if he dies there, nobody's even permitted to go and bring him out from there. If you enter there, you will die. And if they leave him there and he dies there and nobody brings him, you know, say God know they like smell. All of them go die. So the bell is ringing. If they kept listening and they didn't, if they keep listening and after a while they don't hear those bells, they give sometimes they don't hear it, they will start pulling the rope. That means bros don't die for there. They will just pull him out because you can't get in there. That was how powerful those. See, that's why it was a big deal when Jesus died. The Bible says, and the veil. See, that's one of the reasons why the high priest, they knew that Jesus was truly the Son of God. Because that thing, for the first time, people saw what was inside that place. Did you get that story? So, spirits are serious-minded people. I'll give you another example. So, this is Moses, and God said to Moses, make sure that every male child, as a sign of the covenant I have with you, must be circumcised. See, that's why they say people from these parts, more especially the eastern parts that does circumcision, they say we are some form of descendants of the Jews. There are some things that they do that the Jews actually does. And that's why I'm thinking is that like some of us, like all this circumcision and the 8th day, all those things that they do them. So here was Moses, and he had his children who were not circumcised. Remember one time Miriam tried to call Moses' attention to the fact that Moses married a woman that is not from Israel, and God told them not to marry people who are not from Israel. And so Miriam calls Moses' attention to it, and God was angry and struck Miriam with leprosy. Say, who are you? Who are you to even confront Moses? So you would think because God did that God would never go against Moses. A short while down the line, one day, God woke up and decided to kill Moses. It's in your Bible. But because Moses' wife was the daughter of a Midianite priest, so she understands priesthood and understand the things of the spirit. So she knew that God went against Moses without announcement. So it's like you, they talk with someone that they talk before you know the person took you dagger. Just like that. There was no pre-information from God. God just wake up one morning and decide, I will buy you today, Moses. The lady just knew that these boys were not circumcised. And the Bible says she took knife quickly, brought out their cut, and threw the foreskin to Moses and said, your God is a bloody God. Immediately she did that, God said, okay, now we are talking. God left Moses. If he hadn't done that. And yet, this is the same Moses that God says, I speak with him as a friend speaks with a friend. I speak to others in dreams and revelation, but Moses, I talk with him as a face to face. You get what I'm saying? But God turns around to kill him. Spirits are serious-minded beings. So some of us, the way we deal with God, you think, see, that's why you can be with God for 40, 20 years and you will get nothing from God, because God is not moved by your small cry and all this, your manipulation and all this, your whining. You can just live for, but God cannot be fooled by it. In fact, the Bible says God cannot be fooled. He said, draw close to me and I will draw close to you. So if you do your leg like this and put it back, God is looking you. He's looking at you. He said, draw close, I will draw close. So God knows when you get serious with him. When you get serious with him, your dealing will move from just normal stuff to the level of covenants. Are you getting what I'm saying? Are you getting what I'm saying? boyfriend and girlfriend is not on another level. Let me use it as an example. Boyfriend, girlfriend, my boyfriend, your girlfriend. Even the society does not take it serious. You understand this? Anything that go in boyfriendship and girlfriendship has gone. That's why I keep telling people, whatever you can't forget, don't do it in a relationship. If you can't forget it, because I was a witness. I enter relationship, I overdo. When I lose it, you go like that. When I come, they complain, God say, let it go like that. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go to law court about it. You don't go. Guys, what you can't forget, don't do. Ladies, what you can't let go, don't do. Don't come and tell me you cook okra soup 2 times. You know counts. That's boyfriendship and girlfriendship. You know, now that you did not hold back Isaac, I just say, make a try you small. Now I know I can trust you. So you see, God will always test a man. Sometimes God give you something little. What he really wants to give you is bigger than that, but he wants to trust you and see what you can do with that. So many of us, we have become our own limitation because we have failed to. See, that's why it's funny when you are saying, God, forgive me, but you know in the back of your mind, you are going to do it again. No, you are going to do it again. Like you deal with God like God is stupid, that is a mumu. He knows. He knows. That's why sometimes there's some prayer you pray, God don't take it seriously. Because if he should take it seriously the way you are praying it, you won't live to be alive the next day. If I did lie, make I die. God did not answer. If I did lie, make I bend. God did not answer. Because you know you're a professor in lying. You know that even that thing you're saying is a lie. Have you seen this? Truth. I say, I remember when we are young, I say, truth, you say, to God. You don't pack sand up to God. Tell your neighbor, wake up. Say, God is no fool. Here we pray, God in his wisdom and kindness and love does not answer it. Because you know, you are not ready. Not answer it. Because you know, you are not ready. Remember what we're talking about today, after 3 minutes after 11, is the nature of God is ability to remember and not forget. Spirit loves you as much as you are willing to go with your deal with them. Spirit remembers deal and covenants, not your singing and your sweeping the church. They don't remember your sweeping, they remember covenants. Unless you're sweeping church and you're singing and you're doing things in church unless you're sweeping church and you're singing and you're doing things in church is based on covenant, it means nothing to God. Because on covenant, it means nothing to God. Because when it's on covenant, it means it is no longer, you are no longer doing it on covenant. It means it is no longer, you are no longer doing it out of convenience. When it's covenant, it means you are not. There are many married people that can't walk out of their marriage, not because they are not tired, but because they have respect for the covenant of the marriage. Because they will know they like to talk true, but not true. If there is nothing like that, the word for don't colo. Covenants. When it's covenant, it's no longer out of convenience. Just imagine if you have a covenant with God that I will always go to church, no matter what. If it's a covenant, it doesn't matter if the rain is pouring blue, black, you will go to that church. Because now it's no longer out of convenience. You know he will be there. And you don't want to keep him waiting or disappointed. Are you getting what I'm saying? No be all these guys where they collect money for transport, they know they come. That's another way to explain it. Eh? When you talk truth for church people know they like to talk, but yet they know the truth. Answer me, keep quiet. When you're too much. And God knows. See, we went somewhere yesterday, and while we are singing church music, church people sit down. They do like this. Some no even move, some no stand up, some no do anything. But once one shingri girl that wore one shingri thing came out and started singing some of these songs, the first people to come at her, we are church people. And we were just discussing yesterday, say church people. Church people. Even the MCs are church people. Let me tell them to play now. You say, if he move. If he move. All the village people will hold your leg, hold your hand, hold your waist. If he move. But let it be. I said, see one. I just did like I know they see what waiting their mouth. I said, my God. I said, my God. She come on for gear. She come on for gear. All of them. All of them. Nobody for there na Igbe person and I judge people. And nobody for there na Igbe person and I judge people. And today they go represent for church. Today. But while we were singing church song there, they are not in this place. You are good people. They are not in this place. You are good people. Say amen. You remember when David said, I will not give to God anything that will not cost me something. He knew this secret. God will not do anything with anything that's not of value, that will not cost you, that is not sacrificial. He's not going to be he is no beggar. He said it. He said, if I was hungry, I don't need to ask you. So God remembers covenants. God remembers deals. God remembers sacrifices. God remembers promises. And the Bible has many scriptures showing that God remembers. And his remembrance often leads to action. It's not because he forgot. It's just because he has made up his mind to do something about something. Genesis 8 verse 1. God remembers Noah after the flood. Not because God didn't know that Noah was in the boat. He was the one that told him to build the boat. Do you get what I'm saying? God remembers Noah. Exodus 2:24. He remembers his covenant with Israel in Egypt and goes to deliver Israel. Psalm 136 verse 23. He remembers us in our low estate. He said, I remember you when you were nothing. I still remember you. Isaiah 49:15. God does not forget his people. He said, even though a mother forgets, he said, can a mother forget his child, her child? He said, maybe these kind of mothers, all these kind of Gen Z mothers now, maybe they will forget. He said, but I will never forget you. You know, it's not easy for a mother to forget a child.